Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Monster Energy DreamHack Studio broadcast of the Nordic Championship 2019 summer season. We just watched Copenhagen Flames demolish Dusty in the first game of the day, but it wasn't as easy as they would have liked it, however, with some early game shenanigans by Dusty and most specifically Joachim. Trouble, I'm thinking back to that 1v3 that he pulled off in the mid lane, which just allowed Dusty to keep good control of the early game, and then they sort of just threw it all away in the top side. It
I
sucked.
mean, you kind of underestimate how much Olaf can stay alive. Well, he managed to stay alive between, if I remember correctly, Kalira's Rakan and Zed. And then you had the addition of, I think, Nishui's coming in as well. And then he kills literally all three, if I'm not mistaken. No, it wasn't Nishui's. I think it was Young coming in with Sejuani as well. So he managed to stay alive through three people beating at him, and then he claims 2 out of 3 kills as well. That was a beastly performance by Joachim yet again.
It is. He does seem to be the player to keep your eyes on when it comes to Dusty. But however, we saw a massive snowball here, as you said, by both of the assassins from Copenhagen Flames. So drafting this double assassin composition, we asked how do we want to see them use these assassins, and they excuse me, my word is slipping here. They executed it properly and nicely and cleanly with these side lane pushes, with the repeated assassinations against something like these Corkis and the Ezreals, aplenty which Dusty just threw at them, seemingly. So some mechanical display of skill here from Copenhagen Flames. I think these are nice champions to display exactly that on an individual level. They looked great. On a team level, they looked fantastic. Yes, Young bit the bullet and played that Sejuani. You keep on reiterating, it's an S tier pick. It allows so much freedom for your team, and honestly, they are looking quite unstoppable there, because once they get that lead, as you mentioned, they will run away with it, and Dusty just didn't have any answers.
All right, so basically, I felt like Copenhagen Flames came here and they had already studied Dusty. Because if I give you a little bit of a rundown on what Dusty has been running, it's like Rumble, J4, Velkers, GP, J4, Malzahar, GP, Gragas, Velkers, and so on and so on. That screams group them up, team fight, and AoE the heck out of them. So Copenhagen Flames were like, all right, if they want to group us up, we're going to split them out so they can't do that. And this time, by trying to draft against the assassins so they don't die in lane, they actually minimize their wave clear as well. So it was a great read from Copenhagen Flames to grab these two assassins, get them ahead with Sejuani lockdown, and then split them up in lanes. So you never have, this 5v5 grouped up fight. And even when you do, Dusty did not have any lockdown left for themselves to actually be able to attack back.
They really didn't. There wasn't much lockdown to be seen. Obviously, only the Yumi final chapter, as well as that Hextech ultimatum coming in from Nipla in the top side. Apart from that, you're not locking down anyone. Perfect composition to run these double assassins into. So, adapting into the second game, you said you want to see a little bit more lockdown, at least drafted early on by Dusty to sort of dissuade Copenhagen Flames from trying something similar again. And if you draft a little bit of a lockdown on some wave clear, you said it would nicely shut down this potential, and perhaps the Flames
Ooh,
would not.
okay.
Actually, Sejuani actually taken away here from Copenhagen Flames. That's a nice one, and
I
Aether's
was
also
going to
removed
mention
with Jarvan Gragas.
the Javan, yeah, because I see the Gragas ban and I'm like, all right, so I would like to see Joachim on the Javan. So even if they don't want to take the 5v5 and they split their members, at least you have the hard pressure of the heavy engage from someone. They're taking this away by banning both the Gragas and the Javan. You see who the focal point of Dusty is. It is Joachim to pull them ahead. It is Joachim to make the plays. And they're like, all right, if we could beat you on your Olaf, we're going to leave Olaf free and open. You can grab him again. We're just going to run the same composition. And now we're on red side, so we actually have the counter pick as well.
Counter picks a plenty with that Java now removed. Also, Kaiser taken away, so no more comfortable Kaiser Nautilus
Oh
here.
boy.
There is
No
a another
anti-assassin
ADC
ADC.
target. Yep, Dusty's ADC is being targeted here. And obviously, Hoist has only really displayed, at least on the broadcasts, Kaiser and Zaya games. Surely it's not the only thing that he can play, but how much does
And
Dusty
Ezreal.
want to prioritize their bottom lane?
Oh, not again.
Answer the question with a Yumi. Yep, there it is.
All right, so if you are gonna lock in the Yumi here, just grab the Lucian straight out of the bat. Grab the Severe, grab something either with wave clear or with early game aggression, so you can either be useful towards the late game when you can wave clear everything and then you can put down the pain with the Severe, or you can try to get the early game pressure like we know Dusty likes to do, and that's how they snowball most of their games that they win. I was about to say, if they're gonna take away the Ezreal here, it's a really hard chance that you're gonna pick the Lucian on the other side, because Ezreal usually stays very far away and safe from any Lucian shenanigans and engages. So I would say the best bet here for Dusty is to possibly pick up that Severe. So you at least have some late game pressure and some wave clear if Copenhagen Flames want to run the same kind of ordeal where they split up the map and you can't actually group up to fight 5v5.
Yeah, avoiding these 5-5s could be the name of the game here. And actually, you saw Nish, who is giving Adi a little bit of a poke there, hovering the Vel'Koz, obviously with those mid lane picks coming in the later stages of the
Ooh,
pick ban phase.
okay.
There's Illusion as predicted. Young, meanwhile, locking in that Silas, which could obviously go to the jungle or top or mid lane, and nicely flexed.
I mean, I guess I said it wrong. I said, you could have wave clear late game. This is like, what's late game? We we don't know about that game. It doesn't exist. Yes, there you go. Joachim on Lee Sin, you get a very aggressive bot lane. You can play through that. You can poke, and you can bring your Lee Sin down there to try and snowball things out of control. Now, if you look in the threats here, not only you have defensive potential, but you also have offensive potential. So once this Lee Sin Q lands in and the Lee Sin is on you, you could potentially grip him further into the tower, even flake him onto the tower. So let's see what they're going to choose to go with here. It's most likely, yeah, it is going to be the Thresh locked in. And now the pressure goes towards the solo laners. What do you not want to face? One of the performances that Nipla has signed on is that GP. And it is because we've questioned his play when he's ahead. And we've questioned his play when he's on a comfortable champion, but he doesn't do well. On the Gangplank, though, because you can actually influence other lanes with your global ultimate, he always seemed to do really good on that. And they're also going to get rid of the Kiana in the mid lane. On the other hand, they want to take the Akali. We could potentially, though, see a Z again. I mean, you do have your counter pick. You don't really have to rush. You can pick something like a Renekton for the side of Copenhagen Flames and then flex him around to your needs.
You know what I'd like to see here?
Oh,
Something
never
like
mind about the Renekton.
yeah, Renekton's hell out of there. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see something like a Nico flex. They're playing with my heart. Oh,
The
AP
AP combo you
Cogmo.
were talking about?
Uh, yeah. Hey, if they're gonna play with you a little bit, at least they can throw some my way as well. AP Cog is most likely not going to be the case. I would adore to see something like a Nico.
Ooh,
But
that is flexed.
yeah, that is indeed flexed. Mid lane and top side. And what this does is you can go the glacial augment thing, the glacial augment route. You can go that on hit, and quite importantly, it also sort of uh, dissuades assassins in a certain way, right? With that big ultimate, the big defensiveness, and the fact that laning phase as a melee character versus Nico is pure hell. So what this forces is
Oh,
likely a
I'm sad.
top
I was like,
lane ranged
please
for
pick
Dusty.
Malzahar. Please pick Malzahar. I'm
They
like,
still might,
if you're gonna
honestly.
go hard, look, in this case, if you're not going to go hard in this game, you're going to go home because it's the last game you have a chance to pull a win so you can push it to game 3. So that Malzahar game, Adi did so well on him. He's going to pick the Vel'Koz this time. He wants to play from distance. He has the wave clear. So basically, this time they're saying, okay, if you want to split the map, we're going to have wave clear on a side lane. Something you haven't accounted on, though, is that, again, Copenhagen Flames, they have that engaged. They've got the Threshold, they've got the Silas to go in. Possibly that Silas is even on a solo lane, so they could be locking in yet another jungler here if they so wish to.
They could, or they could just, throw in his head. Why
All
won't you? Yeah, Silas into the jungle, and now Eden Fox will have a pretty okay matchup against something like that Vel'Koz. Becomes an easy target. Yeah, you're gonna have to dodge a little bit of poke in the early game, or you could send Victor mid lane, which I don't think will be the case. Vel'Koz in a long lane would be easy
Ooh,
pickings for
terrifying.
Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once Eden Fox starts hitting that death mark spike there, and with some lethality, Adi is going to be a very, very short-lived calamari stick there in the mid
Hmm.
side.
So I do enjoy this adaptation from Dusty here because Adi's gonna run the barrier. He doesn't want to run in. He doesn't want to die in lane, but he can also rush the hourglass. So every time you get in attacked by Eden Fox, you can press that hourglass and stay alive through the death mark. And in the bot lane, instead of going heal ignite, Bad Habit has gone with exhaust ignite, which means that every time anyone is gonna run in, they're gonna instantly get slowed and do less damage. Now, I love the adaptation from Dusty here because everyone on the side of Copenhagen Flames is super squishy, even the Thresh. So the Lucian here, I'm sorry, has so much value start to finish because if you maneuver correctly around and you've got a Yumi attached to you as well, you can actually output so much damage into the team fight and be kept alive. You've got so much wave clear from the Vel'Koz and the Victor to pressure out lanes, and you can also force fights with this team because Joachim can go in with the Lee Sin and kick someone back. That's an instant knockup that could come from Adi, or a stun that could come from Nipla, or even the final chapter that could be popped out by Bad Habit. So you have the lockdown, you have the engage, you've got the wave clear, and the pressure in your lanes early. So I love the adaptation by Dusty. Now, the only thing that's missing yet for us to see is the execution.
Trouble, honestly, I tend to agree with you that the lockdown is indeed there from Dusty, but it's extremely conditional lockdown. Nipla's gravity field obviously slows for some time. It doesn't insta stun. The knockup coming in from Adi's Vel'Koz, it's also very dodgeable, right? And the final chapter obviously needs three stacks to root a target down. So yeah, the setup is there,
Hmm.
extremely conditional. However, so there will be a lot of pressure on Joachim again to perhaps kick someone into a Vel'Koz skill shot or into Bad Habits' final chapter there.
I mean, you can
So
also try to
yeah,
bait. The second Eden Fox presses the death mark, it's very predictable where he's going to land. Whoever he's ulting, he's going to land straight onto their back. So that knockup or that gravity field, like you said, could be very easily strategically used when Eden Fox goes in. Now, it's very crucial to say here that Nishuis wants to dominate top lane. He's gone for the on-hit Nico top. So they actually, again, Copenhagen Flames want to split them up. They want to have to split pushes, put the Z on the side lane, put Nishuis on the side lane as well, and try to win the game through that. The only difference is that your main trio now is a Silas Ezreal Thresh, very, very much likely to be diveable, much different to the Rakan and the Sejuani you were running before.
and you talked a little bit about the top lane on hit Nico here. I wanna just push ourselves or our conversation a little bit to the top side with the Victor versus Nico top lane match, the ranged versus ranged here. You tend to see Victor go hard with the early game pressure, even running that area to try to force Nishi's back. But what we've seen so far, any team that runs a top lane Victor seems to get just gobstomped by the enemy jungler and shut down quite hard. So perhaps it's also a little bit of pressure onto Young on the other side to keep top lane under control and keep this non-hit Nico relevant for the early stages of the game.
And
Uh,
yeah, sure, this is probably the plan. If you want them again to split push, you gotta try and get them ahead. If Nitla wants to put pressure onto Nishuis and push him underneath his tower, then he's very susceptible to getting ganked by Young. So you've got the root landing from Nishuis, you've got the chain landing from Young. You're gonna be stand in place for long enough for them both to put the pain down and grab a return kill on you, and this is where the pressure starts. And remember, Nitla was under pressure from Nishuis even when he got first blood himself in the last game. So now he's gonna have to be much more careful and respectful of where Young is gonna be at all times, because again, you want to snowball the top and the mid. I think this is why Copenhagen Flames have gone with a much more defensive, let's say, bot lane. Sure, you can try to get a grip onto Hoys, but it's not going to be as easy of a task. But if you get like three people in your face with Joachim down in the bot lane, getting a hook could mean, like you kind of sort of try to stop a tower dive happening onto you, or a lantern could save, for example, Gooby's life if he's out of position. So you're playing more defensive on the bot side, so you can try to snowball the top side and hopefully again split the game in a way that Dusty will not be able to reply. Then again, everything in this game works for both sides. It is all down to execution.
Do you think Joachim is happy with that potential split, with the Copenhagen Flames bot side playing more safe? Like forcing Joachim to perhaps focus more top or even mid side?
I mean, definitely. I don't think you want to focus much onto the top side, because Niswish is on the on-hit build and he will probably have Young around him for the majority of the time. You definitely want to pressure back Eden Fox though on the Z, because he had a lot of pressure in the previous game and he was really hard to play against, to be honest, because every time he would pull somebody on the side, he would be able to execute one person and then sleep away with that Zed. So you want to put the pressure down, you want to grab a couple of kills onto that Velkers, because we talked about it again, once the death mark goes down, you can knock him up and give a lot of pain back in reply if you're the Velkers. Grab that Hourglass super quickly. You see that he's also going for the stopwatch. They've got Hoys.
Oh, bot side, yes, Hoys does get flayed into the enemy minion wave there. So Kalhira with the proactive play drops the ignite, but Habit replies with dropping the ignite of his own. So a little bit of trade of summoner spells there, but nothing more than that.
All right, so that you can see that actually it's great that Adi does not really want to be pressuring the lane, because he wants to have Eden Fox being in the danger zone the entire time. So he's holding back with the spells, trying to get Eden Fox in a position where Joachim can take action, but he's taking action in the jungle.
He is. There comes Joachim. First blood solo versus Young. He picks up the kill on his own accord. And meanwhile, Nipla just auto-attacking Nishu is to death. Yeah, Nishu is at flash available, but realized it was between Nipla and the wall. There is no escaping. So, two of Dusty's members taking matters into their own hands. And meanwhile, Eden Fox with the ignite forces the barrier, and he's not going to flash for that. So, action going on everywhere. Dusty being proactive. Love it.
There you go, and this is exactly what you need if you try to actually delay that split push composition, never get them going, stop that AD on hit Nico in the top lane is a major go-go for Nipla. Sure, he gets another first, but this time he actually needs to use it wisely and stop Nishuis from trying to split push and then split up the map again and then split up the whole Dusty to the point where they can't team fight. Because yes, they're an early game pressure team, but they love to team fight on that 15 to 20 minute mark. Now, with that barrier going down and Zed being so close to hitting level 6, you see why Adi is the one pressuring the lane right now, because he doesn't want Eden Fox anywhere near him. So all he's going to be able to do is pressure the wave over and over again and then resetting every single time, trying to get as close to the Zonias as possible until he reaches minute 10 and he can actually use his stopwatch to save himself.
And focusing a little bit on Adi's wave clear there, you can see him already annihilating that mini wave, and that's another strength of the Vel'Koz. Is if Coupling Flames somehow run away with the early game, with the Zed composition and with the Stylus maybe having some influence later on, there will always be that Vel'Koz in the mid side trying to push the waves back with that 2 damage proc. You even clear super minions quite well. So I adore this pick coming in from Adi, so many tools there, but yeah, has to be a little bit careful off of Eden Fox's damage. The only tool available to him, as you said, was the poke and the push in, and so far, so good, I suppose, and he is going for those Zonia's components indeed.
Yeah, now the only problem that has to be in the back of their minds is the fact that if you pressure the wave too hard, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna fall back in CSing as well. This is what's happening with Hoys in the top in the bot lane, and this is what's happening with Addy in the mid lane as well. They're forcing the wave so far in that they end up missing crucial CS, and they're sort of behind when they should be ahead. And critically, Addy's 10 CS behind right now. Young is on the side bush, currently sitting on a pink ward. He hasn't been spotted, but Joachim is super close. Aiden Fox, level 6 though, and he's already started roaming towards the top side.
He's looking for a Nippler, or at least the start or the willingness, I should say, to move around the map whenever he can, getting out of fog of war. See that Nippler starts his recall just because, hey, you know what, Eden Fox, he can't be seen right now. Perhaps we should be a little bit careful, and obviously he wants that back. Also gets that Hex Core MK1 first upgrade there, and we'll have even more wave clear up against Nish Huiz.
Now that's a double-edged blade, because usually when you are against an assassin, you either want to go, like we said, a bruiser, you want to go with a bruiser, a tank, or a very long-range mage. Adi though has been caught.
Yeah, we talked about young pressure, didn't we? There is the death mark coming in. One final auto attack should be enough. Oh, the disintegration rate is very real. Shoots Eden Fox in the back, but
That's
it is going to be
shuriken
the
though.
final shuriken to finish off Adi, and a crucial kill now for Copenhagen Flames, equalizing the goal.
And you saw how predictable that deathmark was. The second Eden Fox dived Adi, Andy knocks him up and puts down the pen and almost ends up returning the kill. So imagine how that will sway Adi's way when he has the hourglass and doesn't have to go throughout the whole initial damage that he has received from Eden Fox. So that's why I said it's a double-edged sword if you go with the long-range mage, because for once, it's really good because you're keeping the assassin in lane all the time. But on the other hand, it's bad because you definitely don't want to be against that assassin, because that assassin can actually one-shot you, which happened with Eden Fox right now, and we just saw that. So that's why you need to rush really quickly your hourglass. I'm assuming this is what Adi is doing now. Hopefully, no early Luden's Echo shenanigans for him. Unless you can, of course, make sure he's staying safe all the time in his lane. Joachim is going to grab another early game dragon, which is usually what he does in the early game. He's really good at securing these neutral objectives. But yeah, you're either going to pick the squishy and try to keep the assassin in the lane, or you're going to go with a bruiser and try to return the damage. This time, Adi chose the long-range mage, control mage, I shall say, which he has played before to a very good standards, actually.
Yeah, but he's paying for that decision with his life at least once, and with a 20 CS lead here in the early game here.
Now, you do see that the bot lane of Copenhagen Flames are not actually holding back. It feels like Kalira wants to try and get the hook onto Hoys, because remember, if it's just that Yumi in the lane, it's actually pretty easy to try and engage on them. But the problem is, if you want to fight in between, minions, then definitely Lucian has a little bit more of an advantage than Ezreal, because with Ezreal, you have to hit the skill shots to try and do any damage. Adi is suffering a lot by Eden Fox in the mid lane, and it shows. He's 20 CS behind so far.
Yeah, 20 CS lead with that kill as well. It's looking rough. Eden Fox is having a field day up there in the mid lane, and will be able to pick up either that Yomu's or obviously the Dusk Blade, whichever he chooses to go. And watch Joachim here. He's going to find Young, gets the recall interruption, and chunks it to 50% HP. Meanwhile, in the bot side, Hoys gets stunned while he goes in offensively. Final Chapter is there, but Hoys has Ignite running on him. Kalhira picks up the kill onto Hoys, and Young is fishing for more. Remember, this is a Yumi who is unattached. She is trying to buy time to dash onto Joachim, but can't quite manage to find it. Instead, Joachim gets hooked, but he gets that kill onto Kalhira.
Oh, Nippler is back.
Yeah, Nippler is there. He TP's in crucially, I believe, but Young is just brawling it out with that red buff, and is going to die for it. Yeah, there's the knockup coming in.
That's a super late TP call coming in from Nippler. If I'm not wrong, I think Niswiz was just TPing top side, and then Nipla managed to TP
Oh,
back. Is that going to be the first kill?
it doesn't seem like it, but Dusty
Wow.
buys enough time. Wow, he actually gets out of that one.
Okay, so that was super messy from the side of Dusty because Joachim is trying to just cancel the teleport unless there was a call for a dive, which would be unheard of because there was no wave coming around for Dusty to dive. And then Hoyes goes very uncontrollably forward where he gets hooked by Kalira. Now, that's not the problem. The problem is that Bad Habit detaches to use his ult and forgets to use his heal, his summoner spell heal, and his actual heal and shield onto Hoyes, and Hoyes ends up going down. Then there's a call for Nipla's TP, which actually ends up landing way after everyone dies, and 4 members of Dusty go down, with Yang again being the recipient of most of the kills.
Yeah, and some crucial first items now coming in, especially for the mid side. Eden Fox has got that Duskblade completed and will be ready to lay down the pain as Dusty are focusing that Rift Herald. Now, they got a few options to them where they want to drop that one later on, but actually it's a fight on the bot side. Kalhira engages it, he gets chunked to 50% HP. Final chapter roots Young, but there's the culling being hijacked. And he is chasing this one, but there's no help coming in from Eden Fox in the mid side because obviously Joachim is there, the man to stop it all. Stops Eden Fox right in his tracks, and everyone survives. Nothing really happens apart from those little chunks, some plates in the bot side for their effort.
Ooh, that hook was so close to landing right there, but they are preparing a dive down bot lane. Joachim is just around the corner, so he could potentially have a say in all of this, and I don't know if Copenhagen Flames want to go through with that. This is extremely dangerous, but they have actually spotted Joachim, so...
They have, and there comes the hook. Kalhira lands it onto Bad Habit. Hoyes is right there. Joachim, as you saw, he was moving up away for just a second, but does move in. But obviously, Bad Habit getting hooked isn't the worst thing in the world, as you can just attach to your ADC and just happily go about your day. Now, a chunk coming in top lane, but I honestly, it might force Nishui's back because the next dragon trouble is going to be that mountain dragon, and surely both of these teams have their eyes set on that.
And remember how we said that Copenhagen Flames are going to play towards top and mid lane? Well, look at how safe they are keeping their bot lane for that reason. Shelly has been popped in the bot side though, and they want to cash in onto that Lucian. You need to get that Lucian ahead before it is way too late. Because remember, Dusty plays for that mid game. Saying that though, there's 4 members of Copenhagen Flames down there.
There is, and meanwhile, there's a 1v1 going on the top side. There is that Yuumi ultimate. Hoyes gets chunked, but Eden Fox is rooted, so he can't follow through with it. And honestly, that's a huge effort, a huge investment there by Copenhagen Flames, and they don't really get anything apart from Lucian's flash, and surely you wanted more than that. However, they do have Dragon priority for the time being.
Oh, Joachim.
Joachim, he's right there in the bush. They are looking for a potential jump here, but surely Copenhagen Flames won't commit for an extended peak. Instead, it will be the dragon set up by Young.
Nipla is the only ray of sunshine for Dusty right now. You get it? Haha, ray, pants. Oh, Eden Fox though.
Dash forward. Nope, Hoyes does not finish it off, but that's a big chunk there onto Eden Fox. He has to back and watch Joachim as well as the bot lane. They're trying to get some priority going here, but Kalhira at the same time is moving up, and in fact, Joachim starts the dragon early on. He's clearing out the wards as he does. TP comes in from Gooby, I believe, to the mid side, and it does seem like Copenhagen Flames are forfeiting this one because they realize, yeah, our mid lane got chunked. Nothing we can really do.
There's no priority literally in any lane around this dragon, and Dusty, to be honest, are really good at securing these neutral objectives. Joachim has a really good eye for them, and he knows exactly when to engage them. But Something that is really mind-baffling right now is the fact that you would choose your Lucian instead of a Severe, because Severe would keep you so much more safe against the thresh in the lane. Sure, you're not going to be able to make the aggressive plays, but aggressive plays have gotten you nowhere in your bot side anyway, and you need to wait for your Valkyrs to grow, you need to wait for your Victor to grow, and you'll still have your Lee Sin making plays and possibly, helping that Severe situation down the bot lane. So getting the Lucian, but on the other hand, waiting for your Valkyrs and your Victor to farm enough so they're a factor late game, it's kind of mind-baffling why they would choose the Lucian over the Severe.
Yeah, they did prioritize the Lucian pretty hard. You even predicted it since they've run the Lucian
Oh,
Yumi in
no,
the
Nippler.
past. On the top side, Young gets his ultimate hijacked while he is under siege, but he gets the gravity field onto Nishui, and it's going to be a trade back kill.
Oh!
1-for-1. Beautiful play by Kilhira to stop the dash there by Joachim, but yeah, he still picks up a kill. Kilhira dies, but
I mean, come on,
nice
it's Joachim.
mechanical play there. Still. Now, Eden Fox is looking for a 1 versus 3 seemingly. Hoys can just continue auto-attacking here. A little bit of a strange situation. Eden Fox going for the drive-by and dies. Straight up. 1v3.
You don't expect a fight that includes Joachim not to end with a kill going to Joachim. Clearly not, because this is the name of the game. Joachim starts a fight, he gets a kill out of it, full stop. Now, our critical point at the start was, how do you translate all these skills, all this pressure, all this feed on your Lee Sin into your team moving forward and finishing the game in the mid game? Because this is clearly what Dusty has been struggling with. They've been struggling with the structure, the decision making, and how to translate into a mid game victory. Now, this is looking peachy so far because Hoyes managed to grab a kill there, Joachim got a kill, but there's literally nothing that you're picking up out of this because there's no objectives to grab out of that.
Oh, Joachim! Grab more kills. Honestly,
Wait!
Joachim comes out of nowhere and says, "Yoink! Hello, I'm an assassin."
That is crazy.
Fear me. Yeah.
Wait,
hey,
he's
you know
1v9
what?
again. Wait.
Yes. I mean, he's doing it off of the pressure of his laners, so not necessarily a 1v9, but he is in the right place at the right time,
Don't try to steal his
continuously,
shine.
over and over. I mean, come on, we got to give credit where credit is due, and that is literally for the setup also, right? It's not only the Joachim show. Don't undermine Dusty as a team.
To me, it kind of looks like the Joachim show so far because, like I said, it just feels so disjointed when Joachim is not doing well. This is why for me it is the Joachim show. Once he is doing well, everyone else goes aggressive. You saw how Hoyes suddenly started going on aggressive mode when you grabbed that kill off of Joachim being 3-1. So it kind of affects the mentality of the entirety of the team. But we saw that in the previous game, and then you start getting a little bit, disrespectful, not knowing where the jungler is, you're overstepping, trying to ward, trying to clear vision, and you end up in a bad situation. They're chasing Nisquiz though.
And they successfully do so. They get the route down. There is that Blossom coming in, but Nishiris, he's just straight up dead. But who cares? Because the rest of Copenhagen Flames are arriving. Young does have enough sustain to be in the fight for quite some time here, but can he finish anyone off? It doesn't seem like it because he's being cut off. However, he's on the right side of the map here and will be able to escape under his own turret as the poke is coming in. But surely this will mean a turret trade perhaps, as Eden Fox is split pushing down in the bot side.
Yeah, Zed people are gonna do Zed stuff. They're gonna split push until you get the attention of at least 2 people from the enemy team. Yumi right there is like changing through people. He's like, do I want to back with this guy? Do I want to back with this guy? I think he chose to back with Hoyes, if I'm not wrong. Not that it matters at all. Eden Fox, though, with the crossmap play, is going to grab yet another tower for Copenhagen Flames. They're only 1 tower ahead, and literally the gold could not be more dead even. Just 300, 400 now gold in between these 2 teams. And if you look at the gold dispersion, it's on the correct people. I mean, apart from Adi not really getting much love with the kills, at least he's at a spot where if he has to stop Eden Fox on a side lane, he's not gonna die him. He's got his stopwatch, he's got his Seeker's Arm Guard, he's got his barrier ready, his flash, everything that's anti-assassin material is ready for him to use. Yet another dragon might be going down, but a fight is going down between the junglers. Wait a second.
Yeah, Joachim versus Young, indeed, but it's not a 1 versus 1, is it? Because Nishuis arrives just in time to root him up.
Well,
And
usually where Joachim is concerned, it's at least 1 versus 2, Lance Minot.
it
One
seems
one v
like
one
it.
would be too easy.
Seems like it, but as Dusty are focusing their air dragon, watch Copenhagen Flames, the rest of them are moving into position for this Baron. They're at least setting up a little bit of vision control.
And
Eden
another
Fox
one.
now being sent topside with for some easy turret takes, obviously, since the outer was still up. And I was just about to say, I'm really looking to see just how they utilize Eden Fox now after the inner turret down bot lane is gone. Meanwhile, Nipla in the mid. Joachim gets the 1-2 assassination onto Young, but he doesn't quite die. It's in fact on the
tanking the
sideline.
tower!
Nipla, who kills off Gooby, and now Joachim is tanking the turret, forces Kalhira's flash, however, and there comes Eden Fox. Yeah, the hook allows for the death mark. And the shuriken lands and Hoys is grinded into oblivion, and it's 2-for-1 so far, with Copenhagen Flames having the map at their disposal.
And you see again how the overconfidence ends up being a mistake yet again for Dusty. I mean, Nipa tanked how many? 2, 3 tower shots without having to. He's playing way too far ahead when his team is not around. You've got perfectly Adi on the Velkas, clearing the side lane, stopping the Zed from split pushing out of the tower. But when the Zed has pushed up the lane and he's taking the attention of one of the players, usually what he wants to do is quickly group up before the other member of the enemy team can join up and create it into a 5v5. The least people you fight against as an assassin, the better for you. So Eden Fox makes it in time before Adi even gets anywhere near. And guess what? 2 key members from Dusty overstep their boundaries, both Nipla and Hoys yet again, and it ends up really bad for them, and they lose 2 on this fight.
And it's unfortunate because losing 2 in such
Oh
a
no,
moment,
Adi!
yeah, actually, Adi is gonna not get hooked. Beautiful sidestep there, but he does use that barrier as well as the flash. So, yeah, you didn't kill him off, but crucially, you remove all of the defensive tools off of this Vel'Koz for the upcoming potential Baron fight.
And they didn't use anything themselves. There was not any summoner that was blown. There was not any major cooldown. There was absolutely nothing used. And they blew every single summon from Adi. On the other hand, though, Nipla's gonna force the flash from Nishuis.
Beautiful stuff there. Gravity Field utilizing that vision there in the bot side. That's a nice little pickup. Not going to really do much. Nipla will now find himself versus Eden Fox. Forces the flash away. Redemption comes in. And Death Mark has already popped. Eden Fox does not have the damage at all. It's in fact Nipla who is in the driver's seat with this Iceborne Gauntlet, crucially, Victor build there.
Oh, he's coming around.
Yeah, he's looking for it. Now Nishuis wants a little piece of the action, and honestly, Nipla is in an extended 1 versus 2. Surely he can't, pull this one off. Nishuis still has TP, by the way, and there's no real answer by Dusty on the other side of the map. Yeah, they get the turret, sure, but they don't regroup around Baron fast enough to really push anything here, and I don't even know if they can.
I mean, fool me once, same on you. Fool me twice, same on me. That's exactly what happened with Nipla there. Again, you see the disrespect on the turnaround by Eden Fox because you've already taken his death mark. The Ignite was not available for him, and you're like, right, I'm just gonna keep on pressuring Nishuis, but he did never think that Eden Fox would turn around. Well, guess what? He has nowhere else to be because the rest of Dusty were putting 0 pressure down on the map. So Eden Fox manages to get another crucial kill onto Nipla, and yet again, even though Nipla does have the pressure, he does have the strength, he's sitting on a 3 and 5 scoreline for some weird reason.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit rough for him, but at the same time, you see how much attention that Nipla can drag towards himself there and how long he can survive. So yeah, he's 3 and 5, but I mean, maybe you want to use him that way if you're Dusty, perhaps? You just send him down on the bot side, attract some members there, and if no one comes, then yeah, he's gonna start to get towers because you saw him versus Eden Fox. He won that quite handily. Eden Fox does not have the damage to kill him off, but Nipla, I mean, the same thing can be said about him, but in an extended trade, surely he comes out ahead. So perhaps you just want to use him up as bait, perhaps, in the other side of the map.
You could potentially do that, but then on the other hand, you don't really have the pressure needed to get down a Baron that quickly if you're Dusty. So
Copenhagen
what
Flames
is
right
your
here.
crossbar play?
They're sending Young down there to kill off Nippler, and there's no
Oh my
reply
god, he's killing them both!
whatsoever by Dusty, but Nippler thinks that he can actually 1vx, but it's just straight up not true. Eden Fox is lanterned to safety, but honestly, Dusty, they're maneuvering, they're not answering at all. They're allowing this to happen over and over again without any response. And there is actually a kill onto Kalhira, and yeah, sure, that's a response, but no real objectives being taken, and it allows for Copenhagen Flames to regroup and even take this Ocean Dragon on the way out.
So you see what we talked about at the start here is sort of coming true. You get Joachim ahead. Sure, he's a beast. Sure, he's prioritizing neutral objectives. So he's going to get ahead. Then your whole team is going to feel confident. They're going to play more aggressive. The second the team starts playing more aggressive because they're confident, things start going really bad for them. Nipla has been playing so confident that he can 1v2 on the side lane that every time anyone they bring together with Nishuis, they manage to kill him. Because sure, you've got the gauntlet, you can play against the Zed, no worries. You can play against Nishuis as well. So when you're against double A decomposition, you can play with the gauntlet and be a little bit more, defensive and a little bit more tanky-ish against these two champions. Bringing down Young, though, who is super fed and does a lot of amount of AP damage, it's going to be really hard to defend against. Also, he does have an hourglass, so he can withstand the big amount chunks of damage that come towards his way. So yes, Joachim is ahead. Yes, everyone is playing very aggressive and very confident, but there's nothing that actually gets translated into objectives and into a mid-game win of the game. And we're really, really close to the mid-game spike where it starts to transition into the late game. The 30-minute mark starts declaring the fact that, mid-game is over and now late game starts.
You can see
I think
that
Nishu is on the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, he sort of is. Now it's Nishu is a little bit mispositioned here, as well as Adi. Yeah, surely Nishu was gonna die here. Joachim
look on the other side.
will finish this one off. Actually, it's honestly, who is it? It's Nipla who picks it up. And look at the difference in between these two teams. Dusty had 2, maybe 3 shots at starting the Baron. Copenhagen Flames get 1 in a similar
Joachim has smite.
Says, hey, maybe we should try this. And Baron is now down 400k.
He got it again!
Again! Are you kidding me, Joachim? He pulls it off. And it's 3-4-0 also in favor of Dusty. And somehow, with all of this messiness, honestly, Dusty, they don't thrive in organized environments. They thrive in chaos, and they're showing it right here.
I dare for anyone to stop me from saying that this man is 1v9 right now. He does not miss a smite, even when the objective is not his to claim. It's going to translate into an inhibitor, and they could potentially push for even more if they want to, but they're going to choose to reset. Yet another great play coming from no other man than Joachim. Come on.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit ridiculous at this point. The meme is very real, but I mean, he's backing it up.
He's the Smite King.
He is the Smite King of the Nordics, and who is there to challenge him? Obviously, Dusty, they did have to go back to take care of these big waves that are crashing down to their turrets.
But that's easy right
honestly,
now.
Yeah, honestly, now they've got so much more freedom, and crucially, stealing that Baron means that a lot of Copenhagen Flames momentum just straight up disappears.
Ooh, and usually when you have that Baron buff split into all your lanes, because I think that every single member has it. Does he want to take that fight? I
Young
don't
just
think
comes
so.
in and claims the skull, yoinks it right in front of him.
Right, so when you've got all these side lanes pushing with the Baron buff, usually what it does is it decays the split push for the enemy team. And now Joachim is in a little bit of a sticky situation because there's a lot of members of Copenhagen Flames around mid lane, whilst Dusty, on the other hand, are pressuring the bot side tower. Someone surely has to reply to that push. Someone, please.
Yeah, honestly, you gotta back now. We see Gooby finally start to do it, but that's a free bot lane inner turret. Yeah, you're sending Eden Fox topside, but honestly, just gifting that away, a little bit questionable there, honestly.
Right, so that is the last outer turret remaining for Copenhagen Flames. It's all gone. Now it's 7 towers in favor of Dusty. And I don't know if it's a little bit too late, but at least they're making proactive plays. And that Baron has actually extended their
Ooh,
lifespan.
look, bot lane.
Well,
Oh my
lifespan of
days,
Nisui,
Nishui's just
though.
disappeared. Yeah,
Yeah.
lifespan is very short for Nico up here. And honestly, he just gets killed off, slaughtered where he stands, and that's the power of Dusty as they are right now.
And guess
They
who doesn't
are
have wave
content.
clear this time?
They don't have any wave clear at all. They can't deal with the Baron buffs at all. There goes the Nexus, or no Nexus, inhibitor turret down boss. Second one of the game, the inhibitor falls. But honestly, crucially, top lane is far away from being prepped. Yeah, there's an Ocean Dragon to claim, but honestly, with a little bit of more prep work, they could have probably transitioned. But hey, still, inhibitor down in both mid
Okay.
and bot lane.
So that is perfect for Dusty, because if you want to try and claim Baron, the 2 perfect inhibitors to pressure are the ones on the opposite completely lane. So you take always mid lane, and if you're on blue side, you definitely want bot, and if you are on red side, never mind what I said. You definitely want bot side inhibitor and mid lane inhibitor, whatever side you are on, because then it's going to pull a member there and you can start baiting for these teleports. Once these teleports are baited and you back off of the fight, you can start playing the pressure game then. So somebody might lose a Nexus Tower from the side lane push, or you're going to contest a Baron. And do you really want to contest the 50-50 Baron versus Joachim? I mean, I've only seen him lose smite once, okay? And that was a 50-50.
It's true, but being the 50-50 smite king, that's just the exception that confirms the rule, isn't it? So now we do find Dusty slamming that bot or top lane show, sorry I should say, quite hard. The Baron buff has expired, however. So in the 32nd minute, Copenhagen Flames, they still stand, and with that wave clear that can now come in from both Nishuis and Gubi when the minions are not Baron buffed, it makes it easier. And Eden Fox on the main side tried to go for the assassination attempt onto Nipla, forces the flash away for only an ignite and that death mark, and they're just looking to stall at this point. They're looking for the inhibitor timers, aren't they?
They're not looking necessarily for the inhibitor towers. They're looking for that 1 minute timer on Baron. So you're prepping your other side lanes. Look how the side lanes are pressuring. The bot lane is going to pressure with 3 super minions right now, and mid lane with another 2, one coming through the base right now. So you want to take that mid inhibitor tower, which I'm thinking it's going to spawn really, really soon. You want to take that and then transition over to the Baron. So whilst all the super minions are raining into the base, somebody has to defend while you're taking the Baron, or they're going to have to let their base go down if they want to contest that.
It's a difficult choice to make, really, and you're sort of in a pick your poison kind of situation here, while Dusty are getting a chokehold of Copenhagen Flames' neck here, and all they need to do is press in, and Copenhagen Flames will suffocate under all of this pressure. Honestly, how do you stop them at this point? You have to try to get another one of these assassinations, another one of these clutch Kalhira hooks could be the answer, Trouble, because this man's been on point, but bar that, it's going to be difficult, especially since the Baron spawns.
No.
Yeah, Adi is knocked away from the Baron, but instead of into it, afterward.
You are not allowed in, sir.
But honestly, they're just setting up a kill trap here. It seems Joachim, watch him, he's onto Kalhira. Here comes the culling. Kalhira is straight up dead. You can't hook when you aren't alive.
I was about to say, you said that the only man who could potentially start something for Copenhagen Flames was Kalhira. You take him out of the equation, and then instantly any sort of engagement is down for Copenhagen Flames. I feel like they put themselves in the trap that Dusty did before, and now they can chase.
They can, and they are trying to lay down the DPS here. Joachim, meanwhile, gets the kick. Yeah, sure, but do you really want to be in this situation here? Nipla is trying to zone, and it's actually Nish who's in a little bit of an awkward position here. Hoyes, meanwhile, goes on to Young. He finds the kill onto the Copenhagen Flames jungler. They have a massive wave down bot side. They could ride this one straight up to the end. The recalls are coming in. Nish as well as Gooby are there, and they are going in. The Nexus comes in, and there it is. The big fight comes in, but Nish is actually the one to slay the enemy first. And Eden Fox goes for the death mark, but doesn't manage to find DPS. And instead, Dusty, they have to regroup, they have to go onto that inhibitor and potentially back away. But there is still that Baron.
And I just wanted to say the difference in gold is so slim. I mean, it might look huge because the entire base of Copenhagen Flames is in tatters, but that's only 2,500 gold difference between these two. You've got the late game Ezreal, you've got the Sylas, you've got the Nico AD. I mean, you've got a lot of power in your hands. The only thing you need is an extremely great pick by Kalira, and then you can unleash Young and Eden when Nisquis and Gubi are putting the pain from far away. So now their first inhibitor is going to start responding, and the ones that are starting the Baron against Joachim, are you crazy?
Here we go. They're pulling the trigger.
Surely not
Flames
again.
are saying, yeah. I mean, desperate times mean desperate measures. And Kalira, he's zoning away Joachim, and that's going to be a nice little sneak there coming in for Copenhagen Flames. They managed to pull it off, and Joachim goes for the tilt play onto 2 and will die. So big shutdown comes in for Kalira. Yeah, Niffla's pushing the bot side, but who even cares? Always gets the QSS. And will find that kill onto Kalira now. The big Nika ultimate, but he will be disintegrated. So yeah, sure, Copenhagen Flames, they get the Baron, but they lose 2 at the same time. So will Eden Fox, Young, and Gooby be able to pull this one off? Nipla, it's the stopwatch, or the Zonias I should say, and there's a lot of damage coming in from Gooby. Don't underestimate this late game Ezreal now with a lot of AP, a lot of on-hit, but still, the push from the top side is still remaining here as a massive issue that Copenhagen Flames need to deal with. That Eden Fox says, yeah, I'm up for the task. Goes straight up onto Hoyes, but Hoyes says, no, you will not. Young does not get old in this game. Gets that death timer for now 50 seconds, and there is that final inhibitor of the game. Triple
And
now.
do you know what's worse than super minions against a team that can't wave clear?
What is that?
Double super minions coming in from every single lane against a team that has so much poke and no wave clear. So your Ezreal gets cancelled, your Zed cannot really do anything, and Nishuis has to walk through all of these minions to try and put the auto attack pain down. It's literally Copenhagen Flames putting themselves in a trap like Dusty did last game. You've got no wave clear. You didn't snowball the lead that you had on Eden Fox hard because you couldn't kill anyone. Adi has only died once, and that was also so close that one time he died, he was so close to taking Eden Fox down with him. That was pre-Hourglass, and that was when he also got ganked by Young. After that, he's been able to stay so safe and farm really hard to be able to hurt a lot from a very far distance where the Ezreal doesn't reach, where Niswiz doesn't reach, and where Yang would have to commit extra hard to try and reach. So unless Kalira can get a miracle hook between 3,745 minions, then I don't know how Copenhagen Flames can turn this around.
Yeah, Adi's been able to keep safe, but at the same time, he's got something like a 20% kill participation. So he's been on wave clear duty and not much else.
Hey, if that works, right?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, just use whatever tools you have available to.
All right, so here's the real deal. Is anything going to land from Copenhagen Flames through all of these minions?
Yeah,
I'm looking at Kalira.
honestly,
I'm looking at the hook.
Yeah. Kalira is trying to fish for it. Comes in. Nipla dodges out. There's a big minion wave coming in from all and every lane. But Copenhagen Flames crucially do have that Baron buff still available to them. And that will keep them in the game a short while longer. Honestly, there's that hook. It's onto Joachim. Kalira goes on to 3. Redemption comes in as well, but surely he will die here. Young is forced to use his Zonias. And Nip is on the sideline. Hoy is going legendary. It's 10, 2, and 6. Lucian, and there it is. Nishui's falls. Eden Fox barely has any HP available to him, and it's going to be Dusty who strike back in game number 2 against Copenhagen Flames and equalize to 1-1.
And what a fantastic showing on what they can do when they get their minds into the game and figure out what Copenhagen Flames against them. This time they try to pull the split push technique again, but guess what? It doesn't work if your two split pushes are full AD, because all the members that were on the side lanes from Dusty kind of itemized against it. You know, the Gauntlet, the Hourglass, the Early Seeker's Arm Guard from the Valkyrs, then the barrier on him. So everything you did, it resulted in 0 kill, which resulted in 0 pressure. So all you were was pretty much a split push wave clear machine for the start. And then you could see that, yes, 4 and 1 on the Z, but it didn't really translate into anything because there was 0 pressure. And the Joachim Baron Steel literally, it just shot the game out of the park completely. What a great performance yet again for Dusty's jungler. And let's see. I mean, we saw a huge amount of on bans on junglers. Let's see how many are going to stay up for this game that's coming up.
Honestly, Trouble, it's as if you wrote the script and Joachim is following it, as you oftentimes say, to the T. He is going hard on doing exactly what we have come to expect from this man. Now, Dusty came in clutch in the second game, despite the assassination potential. Hey, they said, you know what? We're not going to care about your assassins. This time we're going to adapt and play accordingly. And you know what? This is Dusty evolution in progress. Can they close out the game? We'll have to find out in just a few minutes as we head into commercials. You will not want to miss the conclusion of this best of three. Stay right where you are.